Jelili Kingdom, there lived two sisters named Ifi and Dera. They were the daughters of an evil man who married two wives, and Ifi was the daughter of his first wife, while Dera was his second wife's daughter. Ifi and Dara had never been close because their mother had been sworn enemies for so many years, and this impacted their relationship with each other. Despite this, Dara, the junior sister, had tried all that she could to make friends with her senior sister, Ifi, but this has not been successful because Ifi believed her sister was just a pretender. One day, Dara went to the market and stumbled upon a very beautiful dress. Dara believed that the dress would suit her sister Ifi, so she bought the dress, but Ifi rejected it, saying that the dress was charmed. This broke Dara's heart because she loved her sister dearly and wished Ifi would just see that. This deeply worries her as all the genuine effort she put in to try to make peace with her sister was not working. One day, Dara was heading to the farm to meet a friend when she saw an old woman carrying a heavy basket on her head. She looks very weak, and this made Dara immediately approach her and ask her to help her carry her basket. The old woman told her not to worry, but Dara insisted as she pleaded with the woman to allow her carry the basket. The old woman later agreed, and Dara joyfully carried the basket as she followed the old woman home. When they arrived at the old woman's house, Dara noticed that the old woman's son was extremely sick. He was laying on a mat, shivering and sweating. Dara asked the old woman if her son had eaten all day, and the old woman revealed that she went to the farm to harvest some crops and also to pluck some herbs to prepare his daily concoction for his sickness. Dara immediately carried the food items to the kitchen and began to prepare a meal for the old woman and her sick son. And by the time she was done cooking, it was already dark, so Dara returned home happy that she was able to help the old woman and her sick son. But when she got home, her father was already fuming in anger. He began to shout at her for returning late at night, and when Dara tried to explain herself, she would immediately be interrupted by her sister Ifi, who lied to their father that Dara spent the whole day at her boyfriend's house, which was not true, and the father believed her. He rained insults and blamed Dara's mother for raising a wayward child. Ifi was so happy to see her sister crying in pain. To her, it felt like she won a competition, and she did not mind lying to ensure that her sister suffered. The next day, Dara snuck out of the house very early to go check up on the old woman and her sick son. He looked better than yesterday, and this made her happy for him, as she met him eating the food she prepared last night, which made her ask him if he was enjoying the meal. Then the old woman introduced Dara to her son, Frank, and told him that Dara was the girl she told him about. Then Frank thanked her for her kindness towards his mother. As the days went by, Frank regained his health and soon became close to Dara. He had fallen deeply in love with her, and soon he asked to see her parents. She was so excited that she could not wait to spend the rest of her life with Frank. One hot afternoon, Frank visited Dara's house with his two uncles. They met Dara's father and mother, and Frank declared his intentions to marry Dara. The traditional rites were soon performed, and Dara became Frank's wife. Ifi's mother couldn't take this, as she could not stand the thought of her own daughter being single while Dara was married, so she pushed Ifi into accepting the marriage proposal of Akebe, the village drunkard. Akebe was the popular village drunkard who could not do without his bottles. He asked for Ifi's hand in marriage before, but she turned him down. She told him she couldn't stoop so low to marry a drunkard like him. Ifi is not the kind of girl with good character, so that stopped all the men from asking her out for marriage. And since Dara is now married, her mother manipulated or controlled her into marrying the village drunkard. A few months passed. Dara and Ifi were now pregnant. They got pregnant at the same time, and Dara still tried to make peace with her elder sister, Ifi, but she still chooses to remain adamant she wasn't going to make peace in any way. Few months later, the sisters were approaching their delivery dates, and Dara's husband traveled to the neighboring village for work, leaving her in the care of her own mother. One night, everyone had gone to sleep, when a sharp scream was heard. It was Ife, who had just gone into labor. Her mother remained by her side and went through it with her daughter. A few hours later, Dara also went into labor. Her mother was so sick and unable to look after her daughter, so she pleaded with Ife's mother to watch over Dara as she gave birth. It was very exhausting for everyone involved, but at the end, it was a success. The mother then announced to everyone that her daughter Ife gave birth to a bouncing baby boy, while Dara gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Everyone was excited, including Dara and her mother, who then thanked Ife's mother for watching over Dara and her baby. Dara named her daughter Tolu, while Ife named her son Ola. While growing up, they were more like twins rather than cousins. The disagreement between Dara and Ife didn't in any way impact their bond. It made the bond even more stronger. This got Ife's mother jealous, as she could not stand the fact that her son was spending more time with Dara and her daughter Tolu. Ife then decided one day to do something about it. She visited a herbalist who gave her some substance to put inside Dara's pot of food, but she disagreed immediately and told him that she is scared of losing her own son because he eats from Dara's food always and it might harm him too. She then went ahead to beg him to prepare a charm in a way that won't have to involve her own son. The juju man agreed and requested for drops of her own blood to prepare the charm in a way that it won't affect her own child. He then began preparing it, and when he was done, he gave it to her and instructed her only to put it in Dara's food. Ife was very happy and left immediately for Dara's home. It is the first time Ife was visiting Dara's house, and Dara was so excited to see her that she quickly entered inside her room to bring out drinks and refreshments for the visitor. Ife quickly snuck into Dara's kitchen to pour the charm into her pot of food, and by the time Dara returned from her room, Ife was standing in the living room. It was an awkward moment, but she pretended as if nothing happened and began to fake smiles and laughter with her sister in order not to make her appear suspicious. After she got home, Ife was very eager to hear the news of the tragic death of Dara and her daughter Tolu. She waited and waited until the day was getting dark, but nothing had happened. She began to get more curious, and this made her quickly rush to peep inside Dara's house through the window. But still, Dara and her daughter were still alive. She was disappointed and very angry. She blamed the juju man and went back to accuse him of faking charms. The juju man calmed her down, and when she does, he then suggested another charm. But he warned her that the charm was very dangerous and irreversible, but it will get the job done very fast, and she quickly agreed. The man asked her to provide an item that each belongs to Dara and her daughter Tolu, but if by any chance she didn't get it right and brought what doesn't belong to Dara or her child, she would run mad instantly. This was the deal, and Ife was happy to continue. As long as Dara would die, she was fine. So she quickly raced home and stole these items and provided them to the juju man. Then the juju man started with the charm, and halfway into his incantation, Ife ran mad and began to run around the village. What she did not know was that Tolu was her own daughter and not Dara's daughter. The item she brought didn't belong to Dara's child, but her own child, which she had got wrong, and the consequences had begun. What happened was that on the night when Dara and Ife were giving birth, Dara gave birth to a bouncing baby boy and Ife gave birth to a girl. But the mother couldn't stand it. She became jealous immediately and switched the babies and gave Ife her daughter, a son, and gave Dara a daughter. All these years, Ife's mother kept this a secret, even from her own daughter, and this secrecy, jealousy, and hatred towards Dara was what caused the downfall of her own daughter, Ife. She tried all her best to heal her daughter. She went to a village seer for advice and healing and narrated everything that happened. Dara was shocked to hear that her stepmother switched her at birth. She could not believe that Ola was her own son, while Tolu was Ife's daughter. Ola was happy to be alive, and Tolu couldn't believe what her mother did, and she moved in to live with Dera. Ife's mother moved out of the village from insult, shame, and humiliation from the villagers, and Ife remained mad till today. One thing that is assured is stories like this if you subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be posting more in these coming days, and please let me know what beautiful country you are watching this video from. I'm curious, I would love to know, please. Thank you.